Hi, everyone. Welcome back to English with Tom and Julia.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly on time with your life?
Not rushing, not comparing, not secretly panicking.
Just present and okay with where you are.
If that question feels uncomfortable, this episode is for you.
Most people don't say, "I feel behind," out loud. They say things like, "I'm just tired. I'm confused. I don't know what I'm doing."
But underneath those words, there's often one quiet thought. Everyone else is moving forward, and I'm not.
And the hardest part? You can be working hard and still feel behind.
Because this feeling isn't about effort, it's about perception. We grew up with a story, a simple one.
Study, graduate, get a job, build a life.
But real life doesn't move in straight lines. It pauses, it loops, it breaks.
And when your life doesn't match the story, you assume you are the problem.
Not the story, not the expectations. You.
Comparison didn't hurt this much when we were younger. Back then, everyone was starting from zero. No one expected clarity. No one expected answers. But in your 20s and 30s, life becomes a scoreboard. You don't just compare achievements, you compare timelines, energy levels, confidence, certainty. And the hardest part? You start asking yourself questions you never asked before. Why them, not me? What did I miss? What am I doing wrong?
And comparison today is quiet. It doesn't scream. It whispers. You're scrolling at night, not even jealous, just tired. You see people getting married, moving abroad, starting businesses, finding purpose. And suddenly your own life feels small. Not because it is, but because it's not being displayed the same way. Your brain forgets something important. You are comparing your inside to someone else's edited outside.
And in your 20s and 30s, identity is still forming, so every comparison feels personal. It's not just they're doing better, it becomes I am behind. That's why it hurts more now, because you're not just comparing lives, you're comparing worth.
Let's talk about one of the most damaging thoughts people carry. I'm running out of time. This thought doesn't come from reality, it comes from pressure. Pressure to be something by a certain age. Pressure to prove you didn't waste your years. Pressure to catch up to an invisible deadline no one clearly defined.
When you believe you're running out of time, you stop listening to yourself. You rush decisions. You choose paths that look acceptable instead of honest. You stay in jobs, relationships, identities that don't fit, just because they look like progress. And what's ironic is this. Rushing often costs more time than slowing down ever could.
Time isn't running out. Clarity is. And clarity doesn't come from panic. It comes from patience. You're not late. You're just refusing to lie to yourself anymore.
Some seasons of life don't look impressive. You're not achieving much. You're not announcing anything. You're not winning. You're just surviving, thinking, questioning, and society doesn't celebrate that.
But these quiet seasons are often where the real work happens. This is where you unlearn expectations, where you sit with discomfort, where you realize who you are when no one is watching and nothing is being applauded. It feels like stagnation, but it's actually restructuring.
Think about it. Before anything solid is built, something old has to be taken apart. Quiet seasons are demolition phases. Messy, confusing, necessary. They don't look like progress, but they make progress possible.
If you feel behind, it might be because you stopped running on autopilot. You stopped doing things just because you should. You started asking harder questions. Who am I really? What do I actually want? What am I pretending to care about? Those questions slow life down, but they make it real.
Rebuilding feels worse than moving forward blindly, because rebuilding is uncertain. There's no applause, No clear timeline, no guarantee. But rebuilding means you're choosing alignment over speed. And that's not falling behind. That's choosing depth.
You're not late. You're not broken. You're becoming more honest. And that process was never meant to be fast.
There's a moment in life that doesn't get talked about enough. It's when you stop explaining yourself to people. You stop justifying why you're not there yet, why you changed direction, why your life looks different from what you planned. Not because you don't care anymore, but because you finally understand something. Most people don't need your explanation. They just need you to fit into a version of life that makes them comfortable.
And when you stop explaining, something strange happens. You feel lighter. You realize how much energy you spent defending your pace, your choices, your silence. Feeling behind often comes from trying to convince others that your life still makes sense. But growth begins when you no longer need permission to move at your own speed.
You're not behind. You're just no longer living for an audience.
We love stories about people who succeeded early, but quietly. Some of the most grounded, fulfilled people were late bloomers, not because they were slow, but because they were careful. They took time to fail privately, to doubt, to rebuild without cameras watching.
Late bloomers often build lives that last longer because they don't chase validation, they chase alignment. They know what emptiness feels like, so they don't confuse noise with meaning. If you feel behind, it might be because your growth is happening underground, and roots grow in silence. What if this phase, this confusing, uncomfortable, quiet phase, isn't a mistake? What if it's preparation? Not for success as people define it, but for peace.
What if you're not meant to rush this part? What if this season is teaching you patience, self-trust, and boundaries you'll need later? We often ask, when will my life start? But maybe life already started, just not in a way that's loud or visible.
Being behind is often just being out of sync with expectations that were never yours.
If you're listening to this and feeling like everyone else is moving forward while you're standing still, please remember this. Standing still is not the same as going backward. Rest is not failure. Questioning is not weakness. Starting over is not embarrassment.
You're allowed to take time. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to grow slowly. Life isn't a race. It's a relationship with yourself. And that relationship doesn't need to be rushed.
You're not behind. You're becoming more honest. And that kind of progress can't be measured by timelines.
Thank you for spending this time with us. If this episode stayed with you, maybe it was meant to. Take care of yourself. We'll talk again soon.